Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here at my next Korra news update video, and this is a big one. Finally, after so many months of waiting, so many weeks after Mike and Brian have said the book is 100% complete, we at last know when Book 3 Change is going to premiere in America, where we're going to see it first, it's going to come out first. Everything's looking a lot better now that we have this news. Just fix that. So, getting straight into it, Book 3 Change is going to premiere June 27th. That's next Friday. And they're going to premiere the first 3 episodes of Korra. The first 2 of which they're going to premiere as like a special premiere event from 7 p.m. Eastern to 8 p.m. Eastern. The episodes are obviously titled K301, the first episode, which is A Breath of Fresh Air. K302, Rebirth of a Nation. We originally thought the episode was just titled Rebirth, but now we know it's Rebirth of a Nation. Clearly to avoid this potential, spoilers, that we now know airbenders are all over the place. That's obviously why we only saw Rebirth initially. And then, the show's actual time slot, where the show is going to be from then on out after this premiere, is going to be 8 p.m. Eastern, where they're going to air K303, The Earth Queen. So, really packed premiere event here with the first 3 episodes, and that's really awesome, I think. Only other things to mention are those that because the following Friday after June 27th is July the 4th, the show will be taking a break, so we'll be on next Friday, off the following Friday, but we'll be back on July 11th with K304, which I believe is called In Harm's Way. I believe that's the name of the episode. And yeah, so this is really good. I like the decision to keep the show Friday at 8 as like its main time slot. I like the decision to have like a really big premiere. That's awesome. So happy that the announcement is so sudden in that, just came up next week, you're getting Book 3 Change. The only issue is just that from a business point of view, in terms of promoting Korra and stuff like that, is a week enough to inform people that the show is back after it being gone for so long and not having really mentioned anything? Because as far as I'm aware, they put the trailer up online, but I don't think they made any mention on their actual channel that there was a Book 3 trailer online. So only people that are on the internet looking up Korra stuff know that that trailer exists. Now that IGN got the scoop on this, they got the exclusive reveal of it. Everyone, I think, a lot more people now than just the fandom are gonna know what's up with the book. It's gonna have a whole week to spread around, and Nick have started to air advertisements on their channel, which is good. How often they are is going to be a big deal, and I'm very interested to see how the ratings turn out. I said that I wasn't going to be very interested in the ratings, but just because Nick really kind of did something good for the fandom here, this whole decision seems to really put the fandom, pleasing the fans above their quest for ratings, because very sudden announcements, shows next week. Really seems like they're going, we want to put the best premiere out for the fans who've waited so long. We may take a little hit in the ratings, but we're fine because we're going to give the fans what they've been waiting a long time for, and it's their way of maybe apologising for so many months of not talking to us. And that's pretty cool if that was the whole goal. So how the ratings do are going to be very interesting, because obviously with Book 2, because they were changing the time all over the place, it was getting somewhere between, at the lowest, like 1.2 or 3 million, and at the highest, like just over 2 million. Given that they're starting off with a huge event, they're probably going to have some pretty big numbers. Like, I think anything above, 2.5, approaching 3 million is going to be good, because Friday nights, you can't compare the ratings of Friday nights to Saturday mornings, simply because there's no competition. Like, Turtles airs on Sundays, I believe, in America, and so Korra's up against nothing on Saturday mornings. And sure, it can get in an easy 4 million or so viewers, but for me, it getting 2.5, 3 million on Friday nights when it's up against stuff like WWE SmackDown, other sporting events whenever they're on, That's a bigger deal to me, and I'm glad they're also keeping the consistency in that 8 p.m. Eastern was the time slot last time round. That's how they ended, book 2 with 8 p.m. being the starting time slot. Them carrying that over, for the regular airings of episodes works, because if they decide to do like a air 2 episodes on the same day, they have the time 8 to 9. They can do that, and then after 9, I think Nick changes into like Nick After Dark or something like that. But yeah, this is a exciting announcement. I hope it works out for them. I hope that they get the ratings that they want, and that a lot of people know about it. The the key thing could be the fact that the trailer pretty much just came out last week. That could work very well in their favor, in that people were aware, people were talking about Korra, just see the new trailer. No release date yet, but I'm still talking about this. And then the following week they announced the date. The fact that news is already spread around about, book 3, on the return, and now we get the date, that could really help it. But yeah, let's move on to the episode descriptions that we got for the first 2 episodes. Now, these are the 2 episodes that were not part of the leak, so no one really knows what's happening in these episodes, like specifically. I have watched the leak, so I know what's happening in episode 3, 4, 5, and 6, but some important stuff clearly has to happen in episode 2 to get us to where we are in 3. So, K301, A Breath of Fresh Air, has a description. After the events of harmonic convergence, Avatar Korra discovers that her decision to leave the spirit portals open has unexpected consequences. Wild spirit vines have overgrown Republic City, and airbenders are suddenly popping up across the 4 nations. So, immediate setup of, Republic City has changed. Those vines that Vatu put up are still there. That's where the spirits are living because they love nature. So we're going to probably get some presentation of the whole idea of, how spirits, who are very traditional kind of creatures, like they just like nature, they don't probably understand technology, how they interact with a more modern kind of society that they have in Republic City and elsewhere across the world, and how Korra deals with that. We saw a little bit of that in the clips that we got from the first episode, which I'll talk about later. And then, of course, the airbender thing is going to come into effect straight away with... seems like Boomy is going to be where it's kind of discovered that there are more airbenders, so that seems really interesting. Then K203... 302, Rebirth of a Nation. Korra, Tenzin, and Team Avatar search for new airbenders in an effort to recruit them and rebuild the Air Nation. Meanwhile, a band of sinister criminals are organizing to hunt down the Avatar themselves. So, episode 2 is where we get to the reveal of who our villains are. We'll see some of them and what their whole deal is about. And this is where the quest for airbenders starts, which is where the big airship seems to come into play. They're going to start to search the world. So, straight away, this seems a lot more kind of right into it. We have plots straight away than book 2, or even maybe book 1 had. So, this definitely looks like it could be the most exciting opening to a book of Korra that we've had yet. So yeah, they're the descriptions. We don't have one for K303 yet, but obviously the title's Earth Queen. I will say, they go to Bossing Say. That I don't think that's a spoiler to say. Stuff happens there, and that's my little description of episode 3 for you guys to preview it somewhat. The Earth Queen's in the episode, stuff happens. Finally, in addition to this, we obviously, as I said, we got Nick put up a extended 5.5 minute clip of the first episode of Breath of Fresh Air. I don't know if it's the very first 5 minutes of the show or if something happens before then. But either way, it seems it's a good 5 minute chunk. We get the IGN clip, which is obviously Korra, Tenzin, and Jinora walking around. Apparently, in a forest, there's vines everywhere. Janora's got some spirits with her. She's getting on really well. Korra's trying to get rid of these vines, and then she kind of pulls across this kind of curtain of vines and walks out into Republic City, and it's just revealed that these vines have completely taken over this building. And then we cut to Boomy messing around with Boomju, and suddenly he falls off a tree and is basically plummeting to his death when he kind of puts his hands out to block his fall, and he airbends to basically save himself. And then he goes to try and tell Tenzin that he's an airbender now, and you can't do it under the pressure. And the clip ends in the middle of like potentially one of the most interesting interactions we're ever going to see in Korra. You know, everyone finding out there's more airbenders in the world. It ends with Milo throwing a plate at Boomy and Boomy blocking it with airbending, or so it seems. Someone could be joking with Boomy, and you know, it is one of the other airbenders at the table doing that to kind of joke about it, and then it could end up that Boomy airbending is this thing that we're kind of just waiting for everyone else to find out about. That he knows he can do it because we see that scene in this clip where Boomy is falling to his death and he saves himself with airbending. But that'd be a really cool kind of thing just to have where like there's airbenders all over the place, and Boomy's just kind of like, I'm an airbender too, I just can't activate it at will like a lot of the other people, and no one is believing him yet, and at some point it will come out and it'll be a big moment. I think that'll be a really cool little character arc just to have with Boomy, where maybe they just won't go down the road of like, okay, everyone knows he's an airbender straight away, the immediate aftermath of this scene, and it's just a kind of season long running thing where like maybe he's captured, they haven't restrained him as much as the benders, he finally finds out a way to use his airbending, escapes, saves everyone again or something. Either way, the whole Boomy thing is super interesting, just to see like a much older character who has been trying to prove himself as being a bender, being kind of as good as a bender while being a non-bender for his whole life, suddenly like developing bending in his retirement. So there's a huge lot of dynamic there where like he's been around benders his whole life, his mother, father, his sister, his brother, all benders. He knows the Avatar, Mako and Bolin are benders, Junora's bender, not all of these people who are benders. Now here he is a bender too. Super interesting stuff going on, but yeah, that's all I want to say about the book 3 premiere. Great that it's happening. Definitely a risk, I think, for Nickelodeon in terms of their ratings, for them to like just go, it's airing next week, we're telling you now. They're maybe expecting a lot, expecting huge ratings from this with such a short notice announcement, but I hope it works out for them, because this is a step in the right direction for Nickelodeon in terms of communicating with fans. Yes, it does seem like it's a direct response to the leaks happening, and they may not have done this if they didn't happen, but it is happening, and that's good to see that Nick are reacting to stuff, at least. Other piece of news is the final piece of news, is just that I talked a couple of weeks ago in one of my videos about the Avatar The Last Airbender Legacy book. I'll show you the cover again, so you can see it there. This book was basically this kind of memento book. Like, it has pullouts and stuff like that, and we didn't really get much information on it. You know, it's Aang's kind of like diary to Tenzin that he leaves behind when he dies. It has like histories of his journeys and stuff like that, and these mementos are meant to be as if, you know, Aang is giving them to Tenzin to kind of help him on his way. And when we get the book, we're going to be able to see all this stuff. Like, it has items in it. So what I did was I emailed the publisher, basically to request if there was any extra information about this book, and also to request a review copy to review for the site, because, you know, they're a different publisher than we've had before. While Dark Horse are a little bit all over the place with regards to if they'll give you a preview copy or not, it's pretty random. This publisher, I was like, I think, you know, this is their first Avatar book, I think they'll want to do this, and they seem to be fairly good with other preview copies of their other books. So I thought, you know, I just emailed them, check out if they do it. They responded to me and said, look, we'd love to give you a preview copy, and we will, but unfortunately we found out yesterday that the book has actually been delayed. So it was originally going to be coming out October 2014, so just a few months from now. Now it's coming out spring 2015, so it's been pushed back close to a year. I assume it's probably going to be like more like 9 months or something like that, but either way, it's been pushed back a long way. And they said, you know, we'll still give you a review copy, just, you know, contact us in 2015 to remind us about it and stuff like that. So I'm going to do that. I will have a review copy. it just won't be until 2015, which is it's disappointing, but hopefully it means a lot of effort will go into this book. Now, on the more kind of good side of things, they did also tell me some extra details about the book that we didn't have before. That being that we now know, I suppose, some of the actual pullouts, some of the actual items that are going to be in this book, and they include a kind of pull-out Fire Nation royal family tree, which could be amazing if they really research it, put a lot of effort into it, and especially if they put like new characters onto it. So like I expect the usual, Sozin, his wife, Azulon and his wife, Iroh, Ozai, and then Ozai's will obviously be interesting. That they'll probably have to put maybe Roku on it. Ursa will be there, Zuko, and then you have stuff like, will they also include in that Norin, Noriko, that sort of thing, or is it just going to be like exclusive to royal family and stuff like that? But you have Zuko, and then will they have who Zuko's wife is, the name of his daughter on it and stuff like that? Will they have the name of Iroh's wife? There's a few things that this thing could actually reveal. What else is there? There's going to be a pamphlet on mastering the 4 bending arts, which could be interesting if they do it really well, if they go into detail on it. A fold-out map of the Avatar world, which again is really cool. They show that map in a lot of books, but they never give it to you at like a huge size. Like I think online you can find it and you can print it out, but it'd be cool to get it like in some nice quality paper in a book like this. And then finally, a newspaper clipping about the Fire Nation's attack on the air nomads. This one's interesting just because the newspapers are like a new thing in Korra. So like, is this kind of like a historical piece in the Republic City newsletter, or is this kind of more of like what the way they had news in Avatar style things, where they just kind of wrote notes and sent them via Hawk or something like that? Could be very interesting. And the other detail I got was that there's actually going to be 8 inserts in the book, and we know 4 of them, so there's still 4 more to come, which could be stuff like the the Aang wanted poster and stuff like that. But I'm not really sure about it. Either way, the book seems really cool. The publisher seems very interested in getting word out about this book, and I'm very excited to eventually get my review copy, even though it's going to be a good few months away now, and actually inform you guys about how good it is. But yeah, exciting stuff to happen. Final thing I'm going to end with is just what the situation will be with my YouTube channel for Korra Book 3, obviously airing next week. Like, I had like no time to plan anything basically because this was sprung on everyone. The plan is that I'm going to do video reviews for each episode the day after the episode airs. So obviously over here the episodes are going to air at basically midnight. That's the time difference, going into like 1 a.m. and stuff like that. So I won't actually get the chance to do a video until Saturday morning my time, and so I'll get it out early-ish there as kind of like my opening first thoughts basically on the episode. Following that, on Sunday we'll be doing the Korra Roundtable podcast on each episode. And obviously there'll be myself and some other fans talking about it on the podcast. They're always some of the most fun podcasts to do. And then finally on Monday, on the site avatarthelastairbender.online.com, I'll put up my written review, which will kind of be like, okay, I've had this discussion, I've done my YouTube video, these are my final thoughts on the episodes before the book ends and things change and stuff like that. So that's the plan for how I'm going to cover Korra. It does mean that I'll be putting a lot more emphasis on getting those videos out as opposed to like any other videos. So stuff like my Transformers comic reviews are probably going to be pushed back. I may end up with like a backlog of them to do when Korra actually ends. I'll still try and get Turtles videos out, but again, I can't promise they'll be like as kind of quick coming out as they are right now. But either way, that's my plan. Definitely check out the site avatarthelastairbender.online.com over the course of Book 3 airing for all the news. I post there, news posts, stuff like that, before anywhere else. In fact, a lot of the info that I'm talking about in this video, I'm reading off my news post that I put up on the site. So, there's that. So, yeah. Thanks for watching this video, and bye.